Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a great day, and thank you all so much for taking the time to stop by and chat about GameStop. We are up on the day over 1 whole %. And you know what they say? That will keep the doctor away. And not really much happening. We had over the weekend Michael Burry say, "Hey, I'm going to make a big post about GameStop on Sunday," and then everyone was like, "Hey, you're just farming us." And then Burry realized this and was like, "Oh, you know what? We're going to have a more in-depth post a little bit later on in the month," which I appreciate, right? So I think a lot of people were a little leery about the situation, voiced those concerns, and your boy's got a burner account on form, right? So I think he's seen that, and he was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should actually provide some value to these people. And I think that's what we're going to see in an upcoming post, which is really cool. So excited for that. Either way, I would have been happy just to have Burry talking about GameStop at all is good PR, to be honest. Any coverage is fairly good coverage, and if it is in a positive light, it's even better, right? So that happened, and then he did put out a post that was talking about stock compensation and how companies aren't balancing that on their books appropriately, so and how it is actually a compounding loss, which I totally understand, right? So why would you want to pay someone in an appreciating asset? Obviously it is good for the person who gets that, but for a company, it's not the best, right? So you would obviously just prefer to pay them in cash and then keep those shares for yourself or for the company right now. They are still insiders, but insiders often, specifically when their compensated shares, are selling them, right? So yeah, a lot of companies doing a lot of that on their books, and it's not being looked at appropriately. So that's going on in the first Substack article by Burry here. He's got a ton of in-depth analysis on the whole thing, going through his theory of it. Aggressive, very, very aggressive. And if it's a show of things to come, heck, I'm excited for the GameStop post. I'm not going to pretend to understand all of it, right? I just very briefly went through it. I think it makes a lot of assumptions through, potentially, maybe he's just that smart of a guy. You kind of recognize a thing or two, right? Like, specifically the graphs stick out to me, like they've been generated by GPT, but I don't know that for certain. Just things that I see that, because we've all seen it. It spit out graphs like this. Like, ask it for a graph, and this is literally what it'll give you. So it's like, I like the language modules, but I feel like they could also kind of like lead you with false positives in the direction that your bias wants to go. So I'm a little worried that Burry is into the chat bot, but at the end of the day, again, I don't care so much. I'm still excited for the GameStop content that's going to come out. And I don't think he's wrong, right? Like, I do think that this is correct. Not only that the companies aren't, kind of subtracting it from their books like they should be as a liability, but that it in itself may not be in the company's best interest. Not that that's going to change, right? I don't think that they're going to stop doing it, but what they would need to do is increase the rate of share buyback to make up for it, right? So the thing is, they're not, and then that's really at the behest of the shareholder, right? They're the ones who are getting diluted at that point, right? Which isn't great, and it is something that compounds, which is even worse. So if you want a pretty in-depth read, more so than I could ever coherently explain, check it out. Burry's first Substack post on stock compensation. We have the IV down today, was at about 62 62, 63 to start the day, down to 58, now up at about 60. So, fluctuating throughout the day, still relatively suppressed, or how they would describe as moderate, uh, leading into earnings. Earnings is not that far away, 8 days. Our options were up 101% today, down a little bit now, obviously. And we mentioned on Friday that this week was a really good idea to start scaling out, reduce risk, confirm some profits, and then the runners can go into next week and maybe you trim down a little bit more. And then lottos through the earnings call. If you're addicted to derivative based exposure, I would move those profits from uh, GameStop's options chain into the warrants. Now, that's because of the IV crush that's coming post earnings, right? So you can see the average implied volatility crush for GameStop is 14%, right? So the contracts are going to go down in value unless they're deep in the money, right? Because it's intrinsic versus extrinsic, right? So if you're out of the money and GameStop doesn't gap up to your strike price, you're going to get wrecked, right? And even if GameStop does gap up to maybe save some out of the money contracts or print them, if you will, people are going to be taking profits on those right at open. So they're going to have a hard sell down right at open the day after earnings. So you really want to be on the ball, right? And not with your whole position, because it will be difficult. Aside from that, a lot of our earnings moves, and not just that, but all moves for GameStop, happen in pre and post market. You cannot trade options during those times. That's why you get the market open sell off, because everybody's taking profits. And then the market maker de-hedges, and further down we go, right? We've seen it every time. You can trade the warrants pre and post market, right? So that's going to give you a little bit of additional advantage in comparison to the options chain throughout that earnings call, right? Make your money on the options chain during the earnings run up, right? And then if you still think we're going places, dump it into the warrants. Now, we've been saying that for a couple days, and we've been trending upwards quite nicely. 370 still not too bad, specifically if we do get price appreciation. We were taking a look at the options chain. There's a lot of 24s, a lot of 25s. So, a lot of it does rely on the options call, right? Is this going to be a call wall that rejects us down, or, is the news so good that we get up above it, and then, there's delivery on all these into the next week, and, yeehaw, right? So, time will tell. I'm not clairvoyant. Looking to potentially add some 23s this week if we can get a reasonable dip. Now, I don't want to chase because we're already up so high and recommending that we scale out. But as I've said, typically I like to do a third and final buy-in that's much shorter dated. I'm looking at the 12th. I'm looking, again, between $20 and $23, maybe at the money or just out of the money. If you still want to play in the money, totally understand. Good for you. You should. But a little bit higher risk on these ones, and still definitely dumping them out into that pre-earnings run-up, which can take place all of this week and Monday and Tuesday next week. So looking at adding some 23s potentially. That's as high as we really are looking to go if we can get not only a good deal on them, but a nice entry model as well, right? Looking at the S&P 500 for this, tracking that 15-minute downtrend to kind of look for confirmation, right? If it does break above that, okay, let's go. If it starts to break down from that, I don't want any part of it, right? I'm just going to take the gains I already have. I'm good. Thank you very much. So that's chilling there. The Lunar Packs were live today. Oh my God. Right? It gets better. I like the monolith one. This one's actually the best one, for sure. 2001 Space Odyssey, literally my favorite movie. It's so beautiful. Woof. 2,500 USD for Le Pokemons. That's kind of crazy. Also, nice Apple outro. It's literally the exact outro. And on that note, $2,500 Lunar Pack into a $1,400 Espeon. What in the heck? Oh my lantern, Larry. That is crazy. And that's only an 8. Some of these Pokemon cards are expensive, yo. Like, that is insane. I had to stop scrolling. I was like, okay, I'm got to get off Reddit. I read Quaza off of a Lunar Pack for $5K. What the? No one will stop you. Not like this. Wow. It's just too much. It's too much tuna. Wow. So the power packs are really cool. And I think that this is like a straight up stroke of genius. Come on. Nintendo's going to lose their mind over this. They are not going to be happy. Anyways, I think it's genius because they've got this system set up for everyone to put their gains into. Now, I know you should be buying more GameStop with all of your gains, and you know that too, but people are going to put at least a percentage point or two into the power packs. And, that's not bad to have, in my opinion, right? I think that is very good. Let's just say they do make a bunch of millionaires, and then all these millionaires go and dump their money into the power packs, and then GameStop revenue explodes even more, and we just have this Pokemon-based flywheel effect that sends the stock price higher every earnings because of all the revenue that it's just like Tesla kind of had this thing too, not with digital power packs, but the actual car. And I talk about how GameStop will eventually become like that, and that's why it's important to learn how to do calls at a baseline first, because obviously you can max these out. Oh, I'm doing a little bit of out of money. Here's my, more risk, more reward, right? But let's just get you with low risk, medium reward first or whatever, right? But eventually, the stock price won't be volatile up and down. It'll just be up and up and up and up and up and up. At which point you can start to purchase out of the money calls without being sold a bag of goods, right? There's gonna be a lot of gains that get dumped into power packs, and then the power pack revenue is gonna go up. It's genius. It's fantastic. So, the only downside is, I guess, inventory, and again, a self-solving problem as long as people are selling those cards back to GameStop. Now, I do know you get a little bit of a sub-premium price on that, but it does keep the song and dance going. So if you are buying power packs, make sure to sell them back to GameStop. Don't go to eBay. You don't need them. And if anybody wants to hook me up with a power pack account as a Canadian, I seen another Canadian opening packs today. I was so jealous. It was crazy. But I'll get over it, right? And we'll get our hands on them one day. And I'm just happy watching, I'm like the guy in the corner on this, I'm just kidding. But sometimes it's fun to watch, right? It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. And, all those things are nice. So technically speaking, GameStop looks pretty decent. A lot of rambling here today. Setting that reversal on the 4-hour. And, if we can hold that key level breakout, which is going to be the 200 on the 4-hour or the 1-day 50, things look good. This is basically all I'm looking 4 is this key level here to hold, and that happens to be, 2250. So if that can hold, I am super chill, just kind of waiting for more. The RSI broke out from its downtrend, which is pretty aggressive. So how much juice is left in this donut? I don't really know. Juice in your donut, that's interesting. What are they doing up north? But I was potentially thinking that we would get a rejection here. So, I would rather shoot up higher and aim for, that 70 area rejection than reject here, right? But the stock looks strong, looks really good. The PMO on the 1 day is still chilling. And the 4 hour looks good too. So where we go from here, I don't really know. I don't want to say that this is endgame because I definitely don't think it is. I do think that the runway is extended further than we could really grasp. But that doesn't mean that, we can't capitalize off everything until then, and that's really what we've been doing on the channel successfully so far for everyone is, taking the plays for earnings, taking them based off any other entry models that happen to pop up, technically speaking. And of course, maybe Ryan wants to tweet a couple of race cars or something, right? So, yeah, if you have any questions, we're on the YouTube live stream. You can also hit us up in the comments, trying to really grow and curate this community into kind of like a safe place where you're not being grifted, where you're not constantly being sold a bill of goods. I am a bozo. I'm a total and complete bozo. So you're going to have to, take what I say with a few grains of salt and fact check everything, But, as far as, showing you guys how to do it, I think we're doing a fairly good job at that. And this is, not our first time. We've repeated this like for years and years and years now in the Discord, which we are opening up. Some people finding their way in early, but 1,000 subscribers will get you guys the invite link if you can't find it for yourselves already. But it does exist. It's there around. You'll figure it out. Or not. Don't waste too much time. Please just subscribe to the channel. That'll be faster. We'll get you the link. And I'm going to be yelling about you're not missing anything. And I'm going to be yelling about all of that in these videos as well, right? So, if we did want to jump in there, I know that some things I should probably go through and reply to, but you can share your stuff and we can, talk as a community, whatever. You can try to mislead me with your terrible ideas. You shill. I know it. Undercover agents incoming. But I've been here for a long time. I've been involved in a lot of other trading groups, and it's I don't think you're gonna get very far with us. But you're welcome to try, right? Aside from that, I am willing to take a buyout. This could be easier than you think. So you guys will know that, right? Like if I ever start to sell you out of the money calls, I'm like, hey, buy these $30 calls, these $50 leaps. Those are a good idea. You'll know, right? And then we can all move on. But I just don't foresee that happening. And, stealing from the nobles to return home and share with other Powerball hopefuls. I think so, right? That's more my vibe. So I hope you guys enjoy. Like I said, check out the YouTube live stream, 10 till 4 EST every single day. And if it's successful, we're going to do it literally until the end of time, right? So lots of great things to come. And we'll see you soon in the next. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. Have a fantastic day, and take care.